The Webview command is very interesting. What it essentially allows us to do is to either shut off or turn back on the Webview window within Alexia BASIC. So if we go ahead and just cast this very simple spell in which we say Webview off, what essentially occurs is that our Webview window is turned off. There's nothing there. But what's more interesting is the fact that we can still use a lot of our browser commands to visit websites and to do stuff with the data contained on those websites without actually having those websites render HTML, CSS, Flash, JavaScript, or any of those other things to our Webview window. And what that essentially does is it allows us to really speed things up and allows us to do things a lot faster than if we had to wait for everything to render inside of this Webview window. So it's not just a cosmetic thing. It's not just about saying, hey, we don't want to see the websites that we're visiting. It's more about saying, hey, not only do we not necessarily need to see what's going on here, but we're also going to dramatically improve the performance of our Alexia BASIC spells by not having the Webview on. So Webview is off. If we now type in Webview on and then we of course cast that short spell, we will see once again the Webview window materialize, and here it is. Now, for example, if we were to go to, for example, a website, so in this case we'll visit example.com. So bear with me one moment as I type this in. Okay, so we're going to visit example.com, and let's do this. Let's do it initially here with the Webview on, and then we'll do it again with the Webview off. So let's just kind of keep Webview on, which is on by default. So let's just go ahead and cast that short spell, and what we'll see happen is that we are able to visit the example.com website, which just loaded below. Now, if we were to turn Webview off, and by the way, this is something that should be pointed out. Let's just do a quick demo here whereby we use the print command to print the page text, and this is a system variable, page text, which basically will print all of the text contained on the web page that has been loaded in the web browser window here, right, via the Webview window. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just run this again, and we're going to have a printout of the page text appear on our emulated computer screen window over here on the right hand side. So Webview is on. We just visited example.com. It loaded it up down here. Now we're printing the page text, which is a system variable, and that page text is printed here. So as you'll notice, this is literally the text contained on the website, right? On this web page, here is all of the text contained on that page. Okay, now let's do the following. Let's first and foremost go to some other website. Let's go to, here, let's do this. Let's go to yahoo.com, okay? But this time we're actually going to turn the Webview off, and then we're going to go to yahoo.com, and then we're going to print all of the page text contained on yahoo.com. So here's what happens. We click on cast. We're going to cast this spell. Suddenly we're going to have the disappearance of our Webview window, and we're going to be visiting yahoo.com. Perhaps we should have cleared this screen. We did not, so we'll see the data start appearing below more information. And here now is all of the page text contained within the Yahoo website. This is literally all of the text contained on the primary yahoo.com website when Alexia BASIC visited that page. So very interesting to say the least. Now let's do this. Let's go ahead and clear the screen. Let's keep Webview off. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to print all of the links contained on the yahoo.com page. So we're going to go ahead and click on the cast button. We're going to cast the spell. That means we're going to have the emulated computer screen window cleared. We're going to keep the Webview off. We're visiting yahoo.com, and that quickly we were able to extract all of the links contained on the yahoo.com webpage. So that begins to show you what exactly is going on when we use Webview. It means that we are essentially like a submarine, to use that analogy. We're floating beneath the surface of the water. We can't really see what's going on above the surface of the water, but we're able to extract a lot of data and information from various websites and to do things with the data contained on various websites without having to have all of that HTML, CSS, Flash, JavaScript, whatever the case may be, including images, without having any of that stuff have to be rendered onto the screen. We could do it all by simply turning the web view off. So that begins to give you a sense of what's possible with WebView. As a quick postscript, just to reveal how powerful having WebView off can be, we're going to run another spell here. Now, this is going to clear the emulated computer screen window over here. Okay, then we're going to again just recertify that we want the web view turned off. Then we're going to print a timestamp so we can actually see when we really begin running this spell in earnest. Then we're going to visit the Google News page, and we're going to put all the links on that page into Listbox 1. In fact, what we should do then, at the outset of this is just empty Listbox 1 for the purpose of this demonstration. So that way we're not including any of the other links that were in there. So okay, so we're going to visit Google News. We're going to go then put all the links into Listbox 1. We're going to visit CNN, put all the links that are in that first page into Listbox 1. Visit Fox News, put all the links into Listbox 1. We're going to visit commondreams.org, put all the links into Listbox 1. We're going to visit Breitbart, put all the links on that particular web page into Listbox 1. We're going to visit the Drudge Report, put all the links on that page into Listbox 1. And then we're going to visit the London Free Press in Ontario and put all those links into Listbox 1. So these are all basically a bunch of random news sites, and so they're going to have a lot of links, and that's the goal here. So we're going to see how long it takes for Alexia BASIC to visit all of these various websites, to grab all the links on each of the pages that we're visiting, put them all into Listbox 1. It's going to print then a timestamp at the very end of that process, and then it's going to print exactly how large of a list was generated in Listbox 1, and we're going to do that by using the print Listbox 1 and then the bracket list size command. So that's going to show us how big of a list Listbox 1 happens to be. And so let's just go ahead and cast a spell, and we could certainly just wait here for a moment. Okay, there's the timestamp. So 1600 hours, 6 minutes, and 43 seconds. That is when this process began. And so we'll see then when the closing timestamp appears, and then we'll also see how large of a list was accumulated inside of Listbox 1. And of course the size of that list, and it's already done, the size of that list of course being all of the links on those various web pages. So this was fairly quick. Okay, so it took what appears to be about roughly 20 seconds or so, give or take a couple seconds, for it to visit all these various websites, to grab all the links contained on those web pages, to place them all onto Listbox 1, into Listbox 1, and then the size of Listbox 1 is 2,551. So we have basically a user input variable of Listbox 1 that now contains 2,551 links, and all of that was accumulated in approximately 20 seconds or so. Okay, now let's do one last quick thing. Let's just go ahead and remove all of that code from the spell box. Let us now just print the contents of Listbox 1 just to see exactly what's in there. What we could do, we could also just clear the emulated computer screen window. So we'll just go ahead and do that. And now we should see over here in the emulated computer screen an entire printout, and this is going to be a fairly lengthy printout of all the data contained inside of Listbox 1. So let's we could certainly start scrolling down just a little bit here. It's entirely plausible this is still printing. That's a lot of data to be printed out. So let's just go ahead and start scrolling down a little bit if we can, and we'll start getting a sense of all the different links that have been extracted from all these different web pages. So you see all these different links. I mean, we could really probably spend quite a bit of time here scrolling down. In fact, let's just try hitting the page down button, and we're just going to go ahead and scroll all the way down. We're looking at all these different links. So a lot of data here, to say the least. A lot of data here, to say the least. And we keep scrolling down, right? We're basically just hitting the page down button. Let's just really, hit it nonstop. We see Fox News there. We see Common Dreams. We see Breitbart. Let us see, okay, all these different links. It looks like maybe Drudge. And then towards the end here, there's the London Free Press. So it got them all. Okay, let's just kind of scroll all the way back up. So it did it in about 20 seconds. It was able to collect over 2,500 links simply by turning the web view off. It really made all the difference because we didn't have to wait for all of those pages to render. Instead, the data was simply collected in the background without having to render images, without having to render JavaScript, CSS, HTML, or all of that other stuff that oftentimes can bog down the performance of a regular web browser, let alone something like Alexia BASIC. So that's how incredibly powerful the Webview off command can be, and now hopefully you have a better appreciation of just how powerful it is. Thanks for watching. Now please subscribe to our channel.